The college basketball experience Mountain West Conference season preview episode for 2025-26 on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Yes. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Mountain West Conference season preview episode for 2025-26. I can't wait. YouTube.com/the college experience. We are what is this? My math is correct. Like 15? Is it 15? Is it 15 days away from the season?
15.
Gosh, and all was right again in the world when you get all these sports crossing over. Folks, if you do not know, we're about to talk every single college basketball game of the whole entire season, just like we do every single year here. But on this episode, we're previewing the Mountain West Conference. I had to get the preview in because I will be flying out to Las Vegas for Mountain West Media Days very shortly here. So excited to talk ball. And if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Don D. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
The Mountain West Cup. Oh, yeah. A little, excuse me while I go to the loo. The Waterloo. All right. Don't worry.
I was like, what are you drinking?
I got kettle on the rocks here. So you do a sip there, you come back with going to the loo. All right. I am joined by my co-host. He is he's the host of the college football experience as well. And you should check out that because we talk every game, FBS and FCS over there. But give it up for former staffer at Austin P. He was part of the magical Final Four run at South Carolina with the Gamecocks and Frank Martin. And he is also a former West Virginia mountaineer. Jesus.
He's got the Tony Vitello news on his mind.
Oh, man, volunteer. Well, volunteer. You started out as a volunteer, right?
You
were like a GA.
Volunteer,
right? You volunteered as a mountaineer, and then life got better for you, and you were on your way. You were gone.
Then he became a governor.
Then he was a governor, and then a Gamecock, and then he was back as a mountaineer. This time they were paying him. All right, give it up for Ryan McIntyre, aka Moneyline Mac. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Yes, sometimes my pay stub at West Virginia felt like I was a volunteer. So, yeah.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. That was pre. I mean, that was pre all the McAfee money coming in there, right?
Oh yeah. Back in the day, before inflation hit.
It's tough.
Yeah, pre-McAfee money.
Yeah.
Before the ESPN deal and all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Tough times. We're also joined by third man in the booth. You've heard him on the college baseball experience. Also, every Friday night, the college hockey experience. Slap shotting in your face via this guy. Give it up for the great Noah Bienick. How are you, brother?
I am excited to talk about Mountain West hoops. Yeah, 2-0 Friday night hockey. Air Force with a hockey team in this league. UNLV has a ACHA, which is basically like your club team that's waiting for money to become a varsity sport. Who else off the top of my dome has
Boise?
a hockey
Boise
team?
doesn't? Come on, Boise.
I
What's going on?
don't know all the club teams by heart, but yeah, we're stalling for time because last year, I mean, we just ate so much shit on this preseason preview. 0 for 12 on our conference preview predictions last year, guys.
We didn't have San Diego State because they were like 6th, right?
Yeah, they did not.
Yeah,
They did not win the league last year. The Lobos of New Mexico won the league.
Love the Lobos.
Mac and I picked Boise, and Colby was on San Diego State there. And then I picked the Lobos to win the conference tournament. I thought they could go back-to-back in Vegas. They did not. The winner of the conference tournament was the second-place team in the regular season, Colorado State.
And I faded them in early November.
Yeah,
and I was working out, and then all of a sudden it clicked. And
we were all convinced them without Isaiah Stevens would take kind of a sizable step back. And Medved had like his best season as a coach over there in Fort Collins. So
his season was so well, he's gone. I was looking forward to it. He told me if I come to Fort Collins, you'd take me out to dinner.
Yeah.
Guess that's done. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go to
Thanks,
So
Nico.
now
You had to
you-
be that good. You had to be
now
that
you get to
fucking
go
good
check-
last year.
now you get to go check out the hockey rink that's the Barn in Minneapolis.
Barn,
Love the barn. Love the barn. One of the greatest venues in all of college sports.
For sleeper, I don't think we got any of these correct by our standards. You guys both picked San Jose State. They just go 7-13 last year.
They got injured.
Finished 9th in the league. And then I said word for word, they are an enigma. So I think I'm sleeping on them along with the rest of the country. I picked Fresno State last, but I was like, if they finish more,
they were on the
better.
tank.
Yeah, if they finish better than last,
Officer
they're a
O'Malley
sleeper.
over here. Yeah.
And then all of us picked UNLV as the disappointment or bust, and they finished 2 games over 500. But Kruger still did get canned.
That's still defined. That's exactly the disappointment I thought they would be.
And then
remember, I grew up in the golden era of UNLV, so it's like that. If that's what they're trying to be, very disappointing season last year.
Yeah, true. I went off of their previous year's standings and judging that, so maybe it's up to the listeners' discretion there. But so Kruger's on the outs, and that leads us to the next topic of discussion is the new coaches of the league. I think this conference is a very good group of coaches in that Colorado State seat. You have Ali Farokhmanesh, who March legend, was on that Medved staff for a while. He was there since Drake, right, Mac?
I believe so. Yeah. So he was with him. Yeah, he's been with Medved since 2017. And then he was at Nebraska before that after his playing career. So yeah, former Jayhawk killer.
And then Eric Olen comes in to New Mexico to replace Dick Pitino. He comes in from UC San Diego for the Lobos there. And then UNLV goes the TV route once again. They did it for football with Dan Mullen, and they go out and grab Josh Pastner as their head coach for the Runnin' Rebs. And one final new head coach, if you were not paying attention to the offseason headlines, Grand Canyon is part of the Mountain West for basketball this season. So Bryce Drew, welcome to the league.
Let's talk about that for a second, because when I was at the football media days, let's just say you start mingling with people that are connected with other universities that perhaps are leaving the conference, and they were super, super pissed at this move to sneak Grand Canyon into this year. So just letting you know, they might have a target. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I heard that from 3 or 4 different people affiliated with other universities that were leaving. They were not very excited. They felt like it was a low blow to bring them in but it's like low. But you're leaving. You're backstabbing
leaving.
them.
Yeah.
You want to talk about low blows?
Not low blows, low blows.
Yeah, low blows. All right, like that classic '80s movie. Go watch that one, by the way. Thank me later, Cannabis Capper. Cannabis Capper. If you can quickly go to YouTube and watch the preview for Low Blow, thank me later. Thank me later. Then watch the whole movie too, of course. But the preview makes it look cooler. It's like a low blow. It's like what? It's almost like one of the things in Seinfeld where they're previewing like. Some of the ridiculous movies. But yeah, I'm very excited for this conference, man. You guys know I love this. They were the first to invite us out to media days. So
we're loyal.
We are very loyal. We won't backstab you like goddamn Utah State or Fresno State.
You got
Boise,
Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State all joining that new Pac-12. So this is the final year. I like
getting rid of the dead weight, the ones that were on the take. These players, remember Fresno State? We were the first, I believe, platform to talk about Fresno State cheating.
Publicly.
Yes. And we were proven correct. This was before Judge. I mean,
And I think we should footnote this. We were not at the forefront of them cheating. Like, we were not causing that. So there were other people that were spreading that publicly. It wasn't us. We were the first ones to watch it and say, this team is just not competitive at all at some
hard
points.
to figure out.
No.
Watch a game. It's like this team is rigging games.
Yeah. I mean, we nailed almost every one of that. I still take a lot. I take a lot of pride in that. I take so much pride in that someone actually told me. What's that?
Last season, in the middle of the year, I just called you guys like witch hunters. You were just going around watching basketball games. Which guy bricked the layup, and you'd just be like, "Oh, these guys are on the take."
Low blow when the odds are against you. Hit first, hit hard, and hit with a low blow.
That's a great movie poster.
Of course, if I like something, it's gonna be good, buddy. No, so you going back to that. How do I get rid of this goddamn photo? How do I get rid of this thing?
I got you.
Going back, like I feel like I know we're drunken idiots a lot of nights, but at the same time, we have consumed so much basketball or football, and for this show, basketball in our life. You kind of just know when it reeks. You know what I mean? Like we've watched so much basketball in our life. Like I can't, I mean, I when you go and talk to like an average person that likes basketball, we're just so further along than them. It's like we're not even on the same goddamn planet. So I feel like it's literally like the Matrix where you seen the fucking numbers come down, the green numbers where in that scene where, the rest seeing the world and he's just seeing. And we were proven correct. I take a lot of pride in that, Bienick. But I feel like, yes, we're morons, but yes, we can be kind of.
You're professional ball watchers. That's what you guys are. You just watch.
Honestly, my whole life. I don't have any plans to go elsewhere either. All right, so if you're on the take out there, watch out because you think no one's watching that Cal State Bakersfield game on that wacky ass blue ass court. We are. All right, we are.
Yeah, when you decline to shoot a three when you're down 6 or down 7 with 10 seconds left and go take the layup, that's fishy.
Yeah. I mean, I still want an investigation on the Florida State team. Remember that Florida State Elite Eight game?
Oh, with Michigan.
I'm still very angry. Like that game was so fucking streamy. I still believe. And look, proven by Fresno and Valley State and North Carolina A&T and all these other schools that were involved in this thing. Eastern Michigan. It only that I think I was 100% correct in that Florida State Elite Eight game where it was like that shit was phony. That was a phony fucking game, dude.
I thought it was one fair and square.
Of course, as the Michigan fan. All right, let's jump into this because people are like, who the fuck is good? What is going on here? I came for a preview. You guys are showing photos of low blow. Look, here we go. Team 1. The Air Force Falcons and the great Joe Scott. It's a big year for Joe Scott, if I'm being honest. He's won 278 games in his career, but man, 14 wins in 22, 9 wins in 23, and 4 wins in 24. They have the hardest uphill battle, especially as this conference has gotten better over the years. It's been tough, but at least they have more returning production, I feel like, than a year ago, because they get some major minutes back in Kyle Marshall, who played about 26 minutes a game. Also Wesley Chikowski, great name. Played 20 minutes, almost 21 minutes a game. Those two guys back. Caleb Walker, who was on a key reserve, 16 minutes a game. He's back. AJ Patterson played about 5 minutes a game as a freshman last year. He's a sophomore, growing up right before our very eyes. Same with Eli Robinson and Josh Gattet. But they guys, I mean,
it's hard to sell this team.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kyle Marshall hit the portal, but then returned. He returned. He hit the portal. Was like, these guys, they're all full of shit. Okay, you know what? I'll come back. I'll repair this airplane. I love Air Force. All right, I want them to be great. Remember that time when they beat UNLV by 40?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Me and Bienick had a locked battle.
I think I took UNLV that night too. Yeah, I mean, I got them dead last, guys, but I like Joe. And I'm wishing them the best this year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong like I was last year with all of our picks.
Yeah.
Mac, your thoughts on these Falcons?
Yeah, I mean, this is the second stint of Joe Scott there at Air Force. His last year in 2004, they were able to actually win the Mountain West, get to an NCAA tournament. Then he went to Princeton, Denver. Unfortunately, the second era has not been as good.
The league's a whole lot better now too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
they haven't had a winning season since 2012.
They haven't won more than 5 games in this second year.
Like the year 2 or 3 years ago, that was really good for their standards, 14 and 18 compared to what they have been. Haven't finished above 10th. They don't bring back a lot. I mean, they're just, from an athlete standpoint, they're just at such a disadvantage in this league.
Yeah.
I know they run good stuff, good offense, but yeah, they just don't have the horses to win more than 3 or 4 games in this league again.
Yeah, and even if you do happen to develop a pretty good player, it's just a one-way transfer portal for the most part. I just call back to Ritus Petritus, who just transfers out to Cal. When you get one of those guys at a military academy, you need to hold on to them, or else you got years like last year where you dip down and just one conference win. But they're always good for that one stunner each and every year because, I mean, these guys aren't taking the games for granted, and they are wanting to go out there and play, I would say. Because, last year they knocked off Fresno State as their one win. But I think they've taken down, like we mentioned, UNLV. They beat, I think
they should have got San Diego State last year. They
I
lost
think
that game with a buzzer, full court. That was ridiculous.
I think they have at least one win against Rick Pitino in New Mexico too. So
they're always. I remember that. Yeah.
They're always somewhat, kind of feisty, but at the same time, least talented roster. Not a whole lot of continuity here. It's a last place preseason prediction team without a doubt.
All right, folks, want to tell you the college basketball experience is part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and the NBA tips off this week. So make sure to subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast for daily picks. It's a daily picks podcast. You got to check it out. It's no load management there. Tune in to the NBA Gambling Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and remember, as always, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football, but also basketball. And they got everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto head on over to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code, our promo code, TCESGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you're getting the best prices because it's an exchange. You know that. Novig's available in 35 plus different states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code. That is SGPN. So get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back. And from Colorado Springs, we go.
Shake Griffin's asking for an Aim High Miss Small reference. So,
I mean, let me see if I still got this thing. They haven't sued me yet, thankfully. All right. I think I still got it somewhere on here. Man, just not good with this thing anymore.
Just 140 sound drops on there.
Just not good with it anymore. Hang on, let me see. Something about the left hand too. When I was at the studio in LA, it was the right hand. I'm right-handed, so it's like.
Yeah, I mean, you could cut off my left arm, and I would still function just fine. This is useless.
Right? Yeah. I mean, here.
Team speed, for Christ's sake.
Because I can't find our great. I feel like I see it whenever I don't need it. Next year. All right. I'm sorry. Aim high, miss small. I thought I had the song. It's somewhere on this board. From Colorado Springs, we are going to Boise, Idaho, and Leon Rice. Great basketball coach. 316 and 177 all time. He has turned. Let me just do the man some justice here. Short of Chris Childs, if memory serves me correct. Noah, can you make sure I'm right with Chris Childs playing at Boise State? I believe he did in the 90s. Maybe even the late 80s. Boise State has been a very, like, this guy, what he has done to Boise State basketball is unbelievable to me. Like, they were like a trash program for a long time before Leon Rice came there, and he built this thing up. So,
yeah, you were right on the Boise State poll. Shout out to the other Chris Childs who also played for Lindenwood in 2020 and 21.
Shout out to Chris Childs for punching Kobe Bryant in the neck. Wait, I mean, that was once really cool before that helicopter accident. Everyone appreciated that, but now it's like that bastard. Yeah. You know, rest in peace to Kobe, him and his daughter. But Leon Rice done a great job, man. And I'm, you know, they're weird though, man. I just over the years, I feel like last year's team had, you know, obviously great record, but I still felt like they're great in the big spotlight games within their conference. But man, when they're going up against the smaller schools in the conference, or like the shittier schools record wise, I feel like sometimes it's more of a grind than like normally I'm like, oh yeah, this they got this guy. Let me fade them, or let me fade the opposing team. And I always feel like it's been a tough read for me. But this team is pretty loaded again. They got Andrew Meadow, our boy, back, who averaged about 13 points in 30 minutes a game a season ago. They also have RJ Keene back, who played about 19 minutes. Pearson Carmichael back as well. Javin Buchanan, Julian Bowie. All these guys played major minutes. Dominic Parolin, who is a Lehigh transfer that actually sat out the year. They went out to Georgetown. Clark will know this. Drew Fielder is coming in to Boise. Also, Dylan Andrews coming in from UCLA. They also have a D2 transfer from Northwest Nazarene. Very excited about that. Rayshawn Bergeson. Look, I think this team, they lost a lot. Obviously, Ugbo, Dylan Anderson, these guys were solid contributors, and Degen Hart, of course. Yeah. And Cardenas, too, the former San Diego State guy. Omar Stanley as well. I mean, they've lost a lot, but I still at this point, man, I trust the pedigree.
Cardenas was San Jose State.
What did I say?
San Diego.
Yeah, that's what I meant. San Jose. I trust that they're going to be towards the top, kind of like Medved last year, where you feel like they lost everybody, I think he's a very good basketball coach, and I think they'll be super competitive and towards the top of the conference. So yeah, that's my analysis on Coach Rice there and Boise. Mac?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Leon Rice. I mean, what he's been able to build at Boise has been remarkable over the last 15 years, and they've won the regular season, they've won the tournament. He's basically a shoe-in to be in the top 4 outside of one down year in 2019. He's pretty much automatic. I mean, you just go down the list: 26, 22, 24, 27. 23, 20, 20, 25 wins. Like every year, they're a 20 to 25 win team, and they just have an identity in this program. They share the ball offensively. They really guard you, and they don't beat themselves for the most part. So yeah, they lose a lot, but I think they had a lot of expectations going into last year, and maybe there was a little bit of added pressure. This is a candidate for the year after the year, in my opinion, where I think Boise's coming in more under the radar, and I think they're going to sneak up on some teams. They'll be in the top 4 for me again.
Yeah, that's well put. I probably couldn't have said it better myself with the year after the year, because this team, I mean, kind of screams it, because they lose their 3 best players from a year ago.
Although Meadow is good, Meadow's been good. For them.
But they still do return the 3rd most minutes in the Mountain West. 6 guys that played double-digit minutes a season ago. Mid-major programs like a Boise State, like a San Diego State, they are best when there is continuity, and this is some of the most continuity in the Mountain West this season. Leon Rice, like both of these guys have mentioned, super consistent coach over the last few years with Boise State. 6 straight seasons of a top 100 defense and offense, and that's resulted in a total of 80-32 Mountain West record during that span, winning 71% of his conference games. On paper, this roster doesn't look that sexy to me, but you have to trust this program, that coach, that home environment. This roster has positional size, length, and rebounding. Like Colby mentioned, Meadow is a very solid piece. Carmichael, probably their go-to guy, but my pick to click is Javon Buchanan in his 2nd year in the system. 2 seasons ago, he was an NAIA first team All-American at Indiana Wesleyan, and he was unbelievable. So 6'7" wing forward type, and there's plenty of them on this roster to go around in that rotation. I like that piece quite a bit.
Do you guys agree with me where I feel like at home they're always chippy against anybody they play?
Everybody.
But if they play I don't know, if they play Fresno, you're like, gosh, you would just think they would destroy Fresno. They're laying 12, and it's a 2-point game with a minute left. You're just like, am I overreacting, Mac, a little bit on some of the
because they play slow. They play slow for the most part. They got a little bit of Virginia in them from the Bennett era. So yeah, they're good at grinding. They're good at grinding games out. That's why them and San Diego State is always such a fun watch when they just beat up on each other.
In general too, this league, it's a really good home court environment league.
Yes.
And plus you have the travel that kicks some of these teams' ass, where they're not flying, they're rather bussing through mountains everywhere. But even if they are flying, a lot of the airports are not necessarily in these college towns, and they're difficult to get to for some of them, not all of them, right? So when you're looking at just kind of reviewing last season and seasons prior, there are a lot of blowouts in this league, and it's because some teams just get ran off the floor when they hit the road.
That's fair.
Last year, there was the 2nd most blowouts per conference.
Who was first?
That's a good question. I don't have that off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. Next up, we're going to go to Colorado State. I always have a hard time pronouncing this, but Noah just killed it. So Noah, go back to you with this. Obviously, he was a March Madness legend, but I always have a hard time when I see the word, and I'm on my first drink. So Noah, say it again.
Ali Farokhmanesh.
God damn it, that's smooth, brother. What are you sipping on over there? What do you got?
Ice
little Shirley Temple action. Right.
Even Sally got over there.
So saying Shirley Temple, 3 cherries, Colby. Colorado State. This program, obviously, Nico Medved had this program really rolling. Talk about a great home environment, by the way. This environment's been awesome over the past couple of years. They lose a ton though, really to the portal, with what Kyan Evans gone, Keyshawn Williams gone, Jalen Crocker Johnson gone, and then obviously Nick Clifford to the NBA. Ethan Morton headed out to Purdue. Bowen Bourne or Baum, headed out to Northern Iowa. So that's a lot. So they returned just Rashawn Mba and Kyle Jorgensen and Nicola Dapa. That's it. That's it right there. They went to the portal. They brought in Brandon Rechsteiner from Virginia Tech. They also brought in Josh Pasquarelli from the Red Foxes of Marist and Jevin Muniz from Florida Gulf Coast. So the 3 guards coming in there. They also got in Jace Butler from Washington coming in. Just played about 11 minutes a game with the Huskies. Augustinus Gindulis from VMI. Gosh, this basketball thing is getting really. It's just I like football, and you're like Steve Brown is playing cornerback. Kerry Booth coming in from Illinois is the son of Calvin Booth, the former Washington Bullet and Penn State Nittany Lion. I kind of just think regression, but I still think they'll be chippy, but I do not have them in my top 4. Mac, your thoughts on these Rams?
Yeah, I have them in the middle of the pack. They obviously lose Nico Medved over to Minnesota, but they also lose Clifford, who was kind of their do-it-all guy, and then Stevens the year before that. So they've had a dog in this program the last couple of years. Farokhmanesh, I think I'm interested to see how he wants to play because he's more of an offensive guy. Obviously, he was the famous shooter at Northern Iowa that hit the shot against Kansas in the round of 32. He was a hell of a player. So, do they play faster than they did under Medved? Interested to see how that. It's a lot of unknown, a lot of roster turnover. I think they're middle of the pack in this league this year.
Yeah, and you got to go through the growing pains of a first-time head coach in college basketball. So you've got that dampering over a little bit. But Farokhmanesh is like known for, being a talent developer in like the coaching world. And the resume is pretty strong in the last couple of years with Isaiah Stevens and a Nick Clifford coming through the program and even a David Roddy like 3 or 4 years ago. So, 3 really good players there that were program guys that were with Colorado State for multiple years while Farokhmanesh and Medved were on staff. And that's something that gives me a little bit of faith that this isn't going to be like a basement team with Colorado State. Is you've got some guys staying within the program that I would just trust Farokhmanesh to get a little bit more out of them than we might think. But other than that, this is a very good league, in my opinion, for coaches. And I do think that there are a lot of the differences in some of these games can be the edges on the sidelines there. And I have Colorado State kind of in the middle of the pack of the league this season.
The non-con is they start out, they get a little bit of a runway with Incarnate Word in Omaha.
Yeah, how aggressive or non-aggressive did he schedule? I'm actually interested in this.
Well, then they got Cal Poly, which I think could be flying on the radar a little bit. Then they got they play a game at Loyola Chicago. Remember, rest in peace to Sister Jean. They're going to be wearing a patch to honor her this year. But Loyola Chicago's been fire at that home stadium over the years. Then they are taking on Denver, your Pioneers, Bienick, and then they go to the Bahamas, the battle for Atlantis. They get Virginia Tech, and then after that, they'll get the winner of Wichita State, St. Mary's. Then after that, they'll get the winner or the loser, I should say, of Wichita State and St. Mary's, and then they have a third game there. Then they come back home Saturday, December 6th. They got the Colorado Buffaloes and Tad coming through there. Then fucking Dartmouth on December 9th, and that's the non-con. I should get back to so kind of a light non-con as the chat was saying. And Boise, by the way, my apologies for not rattling off your schedule. Boise, they open up with Hawaii Pacific. Nice little game there. Then they get Utah Valley, and then the Mexicans of UT Rio Grande, followed by Montana State, and then they got Wichita State coming there, and then they go to Maui, where they take on USC in the opener, and then they get either NC State or Seton Hall, and then a third opponent after that. They also go to Hinkle Fieldhouse to take on Butler on December 6th. Also, they get St. Mary's in Idaho Falls, of all places. So that is the non-con. So the Boise non-con much more difficult than the Colorado State non-con. You guys would agree with that, correct?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, you've got the Boise State USC matchup is a trying to name drop here. Chibuzo Agbo Bowl. Boise State guard transfer. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. All
right. I think we all kind of agree on Colorado State, though, right?
Middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Fresno State and Vance Walberg. Vance, former George Karl assistant. Well, last year, I hope the booze in Fresno tastes as good as it did in Sacramento when he was with the Kings. But he was 6-26 last season. It's not good, but it's it was players on the take. If I can be honest, it was a complete fucking disaster. And if you remember, Mac, this team had a couple guys. Like, I remember watching, being like, wait, they are better than 6-26. This is how I knew they were on the take. I was like, some of the guys were actually like, I'm like, dude, here's why I'm concerned about coach. Now, great guy.
He's 70.
Well, also just like that team's talent was way better than the record, in my opinion. Like, you see certain teams where you're just like, man, I don't know how the hell these coaches get them to this record, and they have no one athletic on their team. Fresno had a couple dudes. They had a couple dudes last year. They just were working for books. Okay, so they returned Zayon Collins. This is a guy that was very good last year. This is one of the guys I'm talking about. 35 minutes a game, 12.5 points a game, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He is good. They lost the rest of the team, though, by the way. In fact, we have a comment from him from a couple weeks back.
And you know what? I'm jacked about another opportunity. I'm like, let's go. Now, I met with the team. There is no team.
David Douglas is back. He played 16 minutes a game, so I guess there's 2 people that played minutes. And then they brought in Jake Heidbreder from Clemson, played 14 minutes a game with the Tigers. Cameron Foss from UMKC with them Kangaroos, hopping around. Jack Monty comes in from UC Davis. A shit ton. This is where I love. He goes. He brings. I mean, this dude.
This team's a shit show.
Well played, by the way. Look at this right here. This motherfucker went around the globe. He went to France. He was just eating all this goddamn. He was sipping goddamn espressos there in Paris and just having a good old time eating their goddamn expensive chocolate. Ordering another one of those Chiantis. Right, just having a good old time in France because he brought in Bastien Reber. No relation to Justin. Nathan Zolmi from France. Oui. Also brought in DJ Stickman from Clovis West.
Don't forget about their best Frenchman.
Oh yeah, Wilson Jacques Clouseau. A 7-foot freshman coming in. They're just France. This is France. All right.
This guy's French.
They have an Italian they got too. What's that? I'm sorry.
Besides the Clovis West one, that one,
Yeah.
that guy is American.
Well, they went to Italy and brought in Matteo Porto, and also from Slovenia, Gasper Kosovar. That's definitely Kosovar. And they went to Mexico. Wait, you're telling me this guy's name is Mexican? Aram Sokui Urbano. I love this. He's 70 years old. He's like, I probably got another year here. Look, I got some guys. I got some guys in France I need to check out. Honey, pack the bags. I'm taking you on a trip to France. We're gonna hit Italy too. So if you could continue to send me those extra stipends to get this talent, and then on the way back we're going to Cabo. All right, the Slovenia thing was an accident that just happened. We were lost, but I got no fucking idea, guys. What are we doing here? How do you evaluate this team?
How the hell are they going to beat San Diego State, Boise, or Utah State? This team has no chance. Like,
well, though, one of the things, and I think I talked about it with you guys at ACC Media Days when I was there. I was really taken back by this rule. Me and NC Nick were talking about it at the Duke game. These Euros, some of them, we're not educated on how good some of these leagues are.
So,
right?
Yeah, I totally agree because I don't care to watch Euro amateur basketball.
Yeah.
But they do jump on a national stage like once in a summer or whatever. And in the Euro U21 tournament, the one guy that I think you could point to and say, like, okay, he might be legit coming in from France here is that Wilson Jacques, the 7-footer, because he averaged a double-double in that prestigious like summer tournament, international countries playing against each other for whatever that's worth. So he's probably your best one out of all of these guys. We'll see what happens when they're on a team together.
Some of these guys, I can't say for Fresno, so I'm talking a little bit out of my ass, but I'm saying at the ACC Media Days, they're old. They're incredibly old, some of them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a huge advantage, I think. I think I was telling Hoops Peterson this the other day when I was doing his podcast. I was like, it's this year could be a little more wacky with this rule change. And if you get a super old team, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know most of this roster. But if you're telling me they're 25, 26 years old and been playing pro ball in Europe, that's a huge advantage. Now, I'm not saying they are. Some of them just could be high school guys coming over or young guys, but it makes it kind of an enigma.
Or they were playing in like the sister of the G League in Europe too.
And we have no idea.
You never know. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was talking to many different people at ACC Media Days that cover college basketball, and we had no idea on some of these guys. We're like, is this league respectable? I have no idea. It says he averaged 27 points a game in this league, but what the fuck is this league? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it true mystery team here, but I'm just going to chase the trend. And also, like you said, 7 years old, probably a little bit out of touch with the current way things are, but very hard team to evaluate. Would you agree with that, Mac?
Yeah, and they're a weird team because they want to play super fast. Like last year, they wanted to press everybody. They're all over the place. So, I got to see it from Walberg.
It was a roll the ball out on the court. Let's play pickup team.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Walberg's calling card is like he's the inventor of the dribble drive offense. That's just now kind of been phased out a little bit, and we'll see how well the Frenchmen play in that offense. But the other interesting thing about the whole Walberg situation, and we talked about this last year on this show, is he only signed a 2-year contract, which is like, I mean, Mac knows a lot more about coaching contracts than I do, but like you typically see for new coaches 4, 5, 6 years. The fact that they only offered him a 2 and he took it means that, like, 1, he's probably not planning on being at Fresno long, and 2, Fresno was not planning on keeping him very long. So the fact that he went out and got a ton of freshmen is very alarming to me. for this year's
Well, I
roster.
mean, at the same time, I mean,
Because
with
he's
all due
not building
respect,
anything. So
I like Vance Walberg. I really genuinely do. But at the same time, it's like, why you're not gonna get a lot like for an unknown guy from the college game ranks who's 69 years old when you signed that contract, or 68, whatever it was
yeah.
at the time. I mean, you don't even know if he's gonna be on the planet in 2 years. You know what I mean? Like I
If you want my legitimate thoughts of like how this team's going to operate, I think it's a two-man show of Zane Collins and Jake Heidbreder. Like Heidbreder's going to be a shooter. Collins is going to be ball dominant guard that likes to score a lot. Just play some underdog fantasy player projections, take some hires because they're going to probably hit them early on in the season because these are probably their top two options here.
They're a
What's-
hard team to take as a dog because they play so crazy, and they
How-
could be down 5 and then they'll lose by 25.
How do
yeah.
you
Like,
begin
or-
your
or vice
career at
versa.
Clemson and then come here into this situation at Fresno State? I don't understand.
what's the pitch here to the French guys? Like, oh yeah, I like your French wine. Guess what? We have Napa Valley over there. Come out to Fresno.
Come over to Cali.
Yeah,
Come-
over.
come-
You don't say Fresno. You say, you ever been to California, son?
Yeah, come baguette one of these blondes.
Beach Boys wrote
from
songs
Cali.
about all the hot ass we got over here. All right,
Look at that sunshine.
come on over here, wine country.
And we've got some
California
ocean
girls.
that you can surf.
All right, folks, we're going to get to the next team, but yeah, we all have them projected pretty far back. But before I do that, I want to let you know that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog's a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times the amount of money you enter. Simply pick higher or lower in your favorite player's stats projections, and you could win a bundle of money. I mean, look, it's available in a ton of different sports too, including college hoops. And Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code. Our promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is crushing it in college football, and they were unbelievable in college hoops last year with their picks and props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type of any model that you build, and you could win $1,000. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. That's RITHMM. Download Rhythm. Promo code SGPN25. All right, we are back on the college basketball experience, and you know what? I'm just it's hitting me right now. So 2015. Now, okay, now because I was looking, I was like, man, I know Tarkanian ended his career at Fresno, but took him to the tournament. So I'm like, wait, he went there in '95, and last year was 02. So what age would he have been? 13 years removed from 71 was when he left. So maybe that was the logic. Maybe that was the logic in Vance Walberg being like, we need an old guy. Look at us. We went to the tournament. We went to the tournament with the Talk Shark.
Clark is his recruiting pitch is the Espanol Mexican women.
That works in Fresno.
Yeah.
I mean, why not, right? Why not? That's the best part about the world, right? Right. All it takes is someone to say, "Hey, there's some hot scattered ass over here. You want to want a part of it?" We.
Fantastic.
Next up, we got the newcomer, Bryce Drew in Grand Canyon. Obviously, one of the great home court environments in college hoops. Bryce Drew is 284 and 148 in his career. 24 wins 3 years ago, 30 wins 2 years ago, 26 last year. And I mean, I am very curious to see how this works because I tend to think they'll be fine. But I do wonder about that bullseye if certain teams are pissed. But they don't return anybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Caleb Shaw is back, and same with Micaiah Williams. Those are both projected bench players. Williams did play about 24 minutes a game for them last year, though. But a lot of that team from a season ago is off. They're gone, whether they transferred or ran out of eligibility. But were they aggressive in the portal? So Brian Moore comes in from Norfolk State. Remember, Mac? I know you saw them live. He was a baller for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, averaging 18 points a game.
He won the Lou Henson Award, which goes to the best player in mid-major college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, pretty remarkable stuff there. And then getting him Dusty Stromer coming in from Gonzaga. That could be a nice get. I feel like that's probably going to work out really well. How about Jaden Henley from UNLV coming in, one of the better players on their team last year. And then Nanu Owusu-Anane from Brown from 2 years ago. Caleb Smith from UC Riverside, who played really well with the Highlanders a year ago. And then Wilhelm Breidenbach from Washington comes in. And Jack Sawyer from Abilene Christian coming in.
Not the white middle linebacker that used to play for Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking Tom Sawyer, but I was like, why does Jack Sawyer sound so familiar? Also, we have a Louisville transfer in Dennis Evans, who may redshirt this year. We'll see. Battling some injuries. They went and brought in a couple big time freshmen too. They went to Turkey, and brought in F.A. Demerol, and they went to France to bring in Evan Bosdor. Let me just tell you, is this the best home court environment in the whole conference now?
I mean, the Mountain West added another very, very good one.
That's what the argument's going to be, the Pitt or this, right? And that's a good. Yeah. You know what's great is
or Utah State.
That's true. Utah State's probably the correct, but
Utah State's probably hostile, like the most hostile one.
You know what's great though about it, when it sucks that the Mountain West is breaking up. I'm really bitter at that. But New Mexico and Grand Canyon and Vegas all staying. I love the three like desert rivalries. You know what I mean? They add UTEP. They add UTEP too. It's gonna be fun. But this team, I mean, I'm just gonna count on them. I think they'll be top 4, top 5, something like that. I just think Grand Canyon's got such a home edge. And I really kind of like what they did. Now, obviously, it's going to take some time for them to mesh, probably, but I think the team is pretty talented when it comes down to it. So I'll trust that they are pretty good. Mac, how about you?
I'll trust them as well. I thought last year they actually kind of underachieved, all things considered. I mean, I thought they had them that they were going to go 30-3 because they were coming off 30-5. They returned all that production, so it could be a little bit. A fresher group coming in here with more of a chip on their shoulder. You mentioned it. They don't bring back a lot. They're replacing all basically of their production, but the portal class is good. They got guys that have contributed at the mid-major level at a high level already. So I trust Bryce Drew. He's been really, really good at Grand Canyon, going 120 and 40 in his 5 years. So I don't think they're going to win the league in their inaugural year here, but I do think that they will contend in the top 5 here.
Yeah, here's a good way to classify like the home court environments and advantages. I think New Mexico's got the best building with the Pit. I think Utah State's got the most hostile crowd, and then Grand Canyon's got the best student section. Right?
Could be.
That's decent. That's decent. I mean, I know New Mexico. I mean, all these fan bases will be offended by that, but I think that's somewhat fair. I think I mean, all three are awesome. All three do college basketball 100% correct.
So last week we previewed the WAC, and in the Bryce Drew era, Grand Canyon impressively outclassed their old conference. They represented the WAC in 4 out of 5 NCAA tournaments with Bryce Drew at the helm. And I thought he did a really, really good job in the transfer portal this year. I mentioned Moore won the mid-major player of the year award. I don't necessarily mean that or necessarily agree that he was like the best player in mid-major college basketball, but he was a damn good one. He's going to be the floor general here with the Lopes. And then Nana Owusu-Anane from Brown was a walking double-double in the Ivy League for multiple seasons. Last year, him getting hurt basically ended Brown's season before it even began. Dusty Stromer was a former top 75 recruit in the nation coming in out of high school. He played and at times succeeded in meaningful minutes in his career at Gonzaga. Like, he's an extremely good get for Grand Canyon. I think this roster is very good. There's some lethal shooting here. they've got a good point guard, a very good front line, and experienced depth. The Lopes have Torvik's second most experienced roster in the Mountain West this preseason. They've got 6 guys that can shoot the 3 ball 34% or better. Like, tremendous depth, great experience. They kind of check a lot of boxes for me. I am pretty sold on the Lopes this year.
Let me add another one. Tremendous schedule in the non-con.
I have them contending for a title in the conference, but shoot the non-con here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they'll be in that mix. But so they start off with IPFW on November 3rd. Then they get Youngstown State. Those are out in Arizona, obviously. Then Northern Illinois, another future Mountain West, but I guess just in football. After that, it is they do travel to St. Louis on November 15th. That'll be interesting to see there. Then they're home to Northwestern State, and then they head to Palm Springs, but they take on Utah in Palm Springs, right? And then they get the winner of Iowa Ole Miss, because I'm assuming they beat Utah. Then they get Stetson, Oklahoma State. They get Oklahoma State in Phoenix, right? And then Coastal Carolina, and then later IUPUI in Arizona, and that's it. That is a schedule. I mean, look, they'll probably lose to either Iowa or Ole Miss, but other than that, they might be able to get Oklahoma State there in Phoenix, and then where are the losses here, guys?
Torvik's got them losing 3.
He's got them losing to Utah,
St. Louis, Utah, and Oklahoma State.
They're not losing to Utah in fucking no way, and I don't think
that's a toss up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good money line pick because Utah's roster is not great this year. And then Ken Palm's got him losing just 2 non-conference games, St. Louis, and he's got him losing Utah but beating Oklahoma State.
Well, they get Oklahoma State in Phoenix, so I mean, like it'd be different if they're going to Stillwater. I feel like that shit. I almost would make them favorites.
That's a home game for Grand Canyon.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I think they'll be fine at both. Like, to me, they'll get. I see like 1 loss to Ole Miss or Iowa potentially.
Yeah, they're toss-ups on both sites that I like to look at there. I mean, if they remain toss-ups, it's a money line play for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the next team, which is. Oh boy.
One away.
The Nevada Wolfpack.
Are you still planning on cracking what was it, like peyote or whatever? What were you talking about?
I am a strong advocate for random obscure drugs to take in the desert. Yeah. And if I'm going to go out into the desert, especially, you got to fit the environment. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go to Ireland and not have a Guinness or a Jameson. You know what I mean? So when you go out to the desert, the high desert, you say, let me get some peyote or some moon rocks, and we're going to have a good time. All right? Start a little fire, and we'll see who can join us fireside, you know?
And this is your top pick?
Well, no, it happened last year. We were out in the desert. You know, I was, wearing my coyote hat and stuff, and I don't think he recognized me at first, but,
Oh, this guy was from the media room.
I sat down next to this fire with a couple strangers, and we ate some mushrooms, and then it was just, I don't know. I forget what was happening. I know it got a little weird. There was like 3 or 4 naked people, but it wasn't me or Steve. But Steve then started talking to me about his basketball team. And he said, like, this was our breakthrough year. And we sat down and I told him, dude, I think you're full of shit. And through years past, but then he sold me. Now, maybe it was the peyote, the shrooms, or the warm Coors Lights that we were having. But he sold me. He sold me a car out there in that desert. He sold me a fucking just a Cutlass Supreme. All right.
I will say on last year's show, I was like, I don't see it. Like, they had lost, what was it, Blackshear? They had lost. They kept Davidson, right? And who's the other guard? They had Lucas.
Yes.
Blackshear and Lucas. Home of Jerrod Lucas. Thank you, Go Bees.
Well, that whole team from last year that I thought was actually, would you guys agree with me that was one of the more talented teams in the conference, even though they didn't do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
Davidson was a stud.
Coleman, they had Coleman too.
Yeah.
when we talk about the home court environments, the Bat Cave is not one of them that come in at the top of the list.
They're trying to. I think they're going forward with building the stadium out in the city. All right. Stay on campus. Yeah, that's my Mike Gundy. Stay on campus. So look, this year's team, they got. They have the number 7 JUCO prospect coming in Von Weems. They return Chuck Bailey III, and Jariah Coleman and Tyler Rollison, and that's it, right? They hit the portal heavy, of course. Fresno State's Elijah Price. This guy played very well for Fresno a year ago as a freshman. 31 minutes a game, almost 11 points, 11 points, 8.5 boards, 1.5 steals, 1.3 blocks. I mean, the guy was a strong contributor for the Bulldogs. But they also bring in Tayshawn Comer from Evansville, the Purple Aces, who averaged 16.5 points. Of course, I'm Steve Alford. I'm from fucking Indiana. All right. You walk into any bar, any girl is gonna undress herself just because of my goddamn tenure under Coach Knight, best damn Indiana player ever. All right,
Look at that.
Tell
hair.
Larry Bird to stick it. Corey Camper comes in from UTEP. Hey, I liked his game last year at UTEP. I think that might be a nice get. Caleb Lowry from NAIA transfer from the Masters U. Is that some golf bullshit? What's going on there?
Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah, fuck that one. Joel Armo Trading from UC Riverside.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Guys, I'm out.
Jumping ship.
I'm out. Look,
I think I want to be in then.
Well, I just need, if that's the case, I need stronger drugs. All right. And maybe whatever I got, and look, I'm going out there this week, so we'll see. We'll report back. Middle of the pack, but I'm just, I got burned pretty bad last year. All right. And, I know part of it was because I'm Irish and I was in the goddamn desert for 3 days, but, Steve, he threw me for one last week, so I'm out. Mac, tell me why you're high on them.
I trust Alford for the most part to be somewhat in the middle of the pack and maybe towards the top half. I mean, they were coming off back-to-back NCAA tournament wins. They had won 48 games in 2 years. That was a weird year last year where they randomly started 0-4 to start league play, and they lost 4 games by like a combined 9 points. It was a bizarre year out there in Reno. So, I know they lost a bunch of their roster, but maybe that wasn't the worst thing in the world. So, Alford, new group here. I think they buy in. They get back to guarding like they were a couple years ago, and being better defensively. That's what killed them last year. They weren't good defensively compared to what they were the previous couple years. So, yeah, I will put Nevada in the middle of the pack.
That's the same that I said.
But, I mean, you shit on them. So I was like, maybe
they burned me when you cost me a lot of money.
Maybe they sneak into the top 5. Maybe they backdoor their way in there.
How do you like their chances out the gate as they take on Louisiana Tech on November 4th?
Win number 700.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Bienick, I'll get to the schedule in a second again, but your thoughts on this Wolfpack team?
So yeah, like Mac mentioned, a down year for the defense after 2 top 75 defensive units, but also like Alfred still hasn't adapted to like your modern offensive game. The 3-ball is not coming in volume in most games. You look at the transfer portal and it looks like he may be adapting to that. He's got some shooters coming in here. Comer shot at 5 threes a game last year. Camper hit 33% on 3 attempts per game. Lowry coming in from the Masters U, like you mentioned, Colby, he took 4.5 threes a game and hit them at a 35% clip. Those guys are all projected to be some of their better players on this year's team. You look at previous seasons and they don't shoot a ton of threes, but when they do, they hit them. Last year they were 295th though. And in his 6 years at Nevada, only one other year were they worse than middle of the pack in the country.
Conference got better though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since 2020.
Well, Grand Canyon didn't.
That's only one team though.
But did the conference get better?
Yeah, I agree. It's gotten better with the addition of GCU, but at the same time, like I still think it's like no. I think there have been better seasons for the Mountain West than what they're going to have this year. They had a 6-bid league in what 2023, 24.
Yeah,
this year I don't see that. There's no way they're getting 6. I don't think they're getting 4. In his 6 seasons, he's had a top 75 offense in 5 of them. Again, a roster that doesn't look great, doesn't have a whole lot of continuity, but like Max said, it's a roster. It's a coach that you can trust that the bottom won't fall out of them. They're not going to drown. So again, that's a lot of word salad for just saying I've got them actually in the bottom half of the conference standings, but there are some relatively positive outcomes that I could see happening for Nevada this season.
I mean, I had them in the middle, so I mean, I don't know why
it's an older group. They've got 4 seniors in the projected starting 5. Like,
we'll see when they take on Team France.
You're gonna fuck Rizzo up. Let's go, Alford.
Let's talk about this.
You gotta beat the French. The French never win.
Well, neither does Steve. The schedule. What do you guys? So they get La Tech. There's a decent opening game, by the way. Like if you don't bring your A game, you could lose that. Yeah. Then they're home to Pacific, home to the Salukis. Then they go to Santa Clara.
It wouldn't get to what was it, Virginia Tech, Mac? It would be Louisiana Tech for possible win 700. If it doesn't come there, it's coming against Pacific.
Yeah, 100%. They go to Santa Clara to take on old Herb Sendek on November 15th. They get UC Davis on the 18th. Then they get Santa Barbara. That's a good game right there. I'm kind of high on Santa Barbara this year.
Yeah, Santa Barbara's going to be nasty.
Yeah. Then they go to Palm Springs to take on Washington, the Huskies there, followed by either Colorado or San Francisco, depending on how that shakes out. Then they get UC San Diego, which obviously new head coach there. Then they go to Pullman to take on Washington State. Then they get the Duquesne Dukes, and that kind of, I believe, rounds out their non-con right there. Those are all kind of winnable games, but at the same time, they could be losing a lot of those as well.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 losses, I think. They probably lose the Santa Clara game and the Washington game for sure.
I think Santa Barbara is a team that could get them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, they're all kind of losable at the same way.
They were good. They were good in November last year. December,
I remember. I was buying in, man. I was buying more peyote.
It's solid non-con. Yeah. It really is.
They beat Washington. They beat VCU. They beat OK State.
They were in the Charleston tournament. I remember they had like a buzzer beater in one of those games, right?
VCU.
Next up, we got the team that I think I'm most interested in watching this year because Eric Olen is the new head coach at New Mexico. Pre-episode, we were talking Chris Del Conte. Well, New Mexico's athletic director, who hired Jason Eck and Eric Olen, is a Del Conte guy.
Disciple.
So I'm kind of in on New Mexico sports. Eric Olen was at UC San Diego for quite a bit there, 240 and 119. He was 30-5 there last year. I really like this hire, guys. I think we did an episode when he was first hired last year, but I'm very intrigued in watching him this year. Obviously, it's a brand new team, though.
Yeah, and you would have preferred you would have preferred some more UCSD guys to come over rather than, just a handful of role players from that team last year, right?
But I do believe, like, I mean, dude, we watched UC San Diego jump up, and it was like we didn't know any of those guys before that. Like,
I know.
Dayton Albury comes in from Utah State. This is a senior guy's been in college ball for a while. 8 points a game there. Chris Howell comes in from UC San Diego, familiar with the system. 29 minutes a game, 6 points there. A season ago, redshirt senior, so like a lot of experience. Kevin Patton comes in from USC, where he just played 8 minutes a game at USC, and then Milos Vicentic from UC San Diego. He played 20 minutes a game last season. Another grad, fifth year player there. JT Rock comes in from Iowa State. He did not play much at Iowa State. Tahavis Miller from North Dakota State comes in. He played well with the Bison, getting about 11 points a game there. Luke Haupt from Point Loma Nazarene, a D2 transfer, comes in. He averaged 13.5 there. Kalai Patton also comes in from USC. They went to France to bring in Timio Bonds. They went to Croatia to bring in Tomislav Bujov. And the JUCO ranks. Garden City College. He was committed to Rutgers, but they got him Antonio Chol. Here's what I do know. I think this is a coaching upgrade. And I believe their home environment's incredible. I am predicting New Mexico will finish in the top 4 in the conference. Even though I know that it's a lot of unknown parts, I just trust. I think the hire is really good. So, and then when you mix it with that home environment, I think they're going to be a team that's on the, like, I know it's not sexy when you pull out the paper and you say, who the fuck is this? But Mac, your thoughts on the Lobos?
I thought it was a great hire. Olen coming over from UC San Diego with the Tridents. They were awesome last year, going 30-5 and taking Michigan right to the wire in the NCAA tournament. And they were a really good D2 program. They have an identity, man. They space you out. They make jump shots, and they're tough defensively. I think Olen can almost do what kind of Jerrod Calhoun did last year coming into the league. They'll have an identity. Yeah, they're replacing a lot, but I trust him and his staff because he comes from the D2 ranks where he had to replace his roster year in and year out. So I agree. From an X's and O's standpoint, it's an upgrade from Richard Pitino. I love Richard Pitino, but Pitino was just good at getting the best players and just finding a way to win games in that Mountain West tournament. Olen, I think, is more of a program builder. So I'm with you. I like this hire. I have him in the top 4 as well.
Yeah. When you look at that UC San Diego team from last year, 3rd best turnover percentage in the country. That was kind of where they thrived. They didn't turn it over, and they created turnovers. Kind of like a mix of, a really feisty man-to-man, but also they threw some zone at you too. I know they used quite a bit of zone against Michigan in that game, but also what was so unique about UCSD is Aniwaniwa Tate Jones. He was kind of like the facilitator, but he played more of that Illinois back you down style point guard role and then dish it out to the shooters on the outside. And if you're going to look at that on this team and say, who's going to be the point guard? I don't know if there's necessarily a guy that jumps off the page and say point guard, but you look at Chris Howell, who's 6'6", got some mass to him, can back down some guys in like a half post or get down low, and he can dish the ball. Last year, he averaged 3 assists a game in the 29 minutes he played, and he's not like the best shooter on this roster. He only shot the 3-ball 33%, but everybody else can, and they were pretty good at their previous destination in limited amount of time. It's a little bit of a gamble on Olen just being a solid coach, not only last year with UC San Diego, but like with them throughout his tenure, like from D2 into D1, they were very competitive. in the years where they were on probation and in the transition period and couldn't get into the NCAA tournament. And 1 year, all it took was 1 year for the probation to be lifted after their mandatory 4 years of NCAA tournament absence. And they take advantage of the opportunity and they go dancing. And Olen gets hired by New Mexico. I think that he's a damn good coach, and I trust what he's doing when he's building this roster. And I think that New Mexico is a top half team, and I think the Lobos fans should be excited for this new era because it's a different but very entertaining style of ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're a must watch to me this year. Now the schedule. They open up with Texas A&M Commerce, getting the Chinese food restaurant to come to their house on Wednesday, November 5th is nice. Then they get UT Arlington and Riverside. Then they got the Rio Grande rivalry as they have to go to Las Cruces on November 15th. That game's awesome. I watch it every year. Then you got the Hall of Fame Classic in Kansas City where they take on Fred Hoiberg in Nebraska. And then they'll get the winner or loser of Kansas State, Mississippi State. So tough. They better get their shit together by then. After that, they get Santa Clara coming there December 6th. And then they're at VCU on December 10th. Mac, what are we doing on December 10th? Let's get out to that ball game.
Oh, yeah.
They also get Florida Gulf Coast coming to the pit where everyone gets laid on December 14th. And that is the non-con. What do you guys think of their chances in the non-con? Probably one of the tougher non-cons. Am I crazy there?
Yeah, the VCU game's a return game from the pit last year, so Richard did not leave him any favorites here. Yeah, and then
Center.
Nebraska as well is going to be good. So yeah, this is a challenging non-con, but it's going to prepare them for Mountain West play.
Yeah,
Rio Grande rivalry for football, Battle of I-25, where keep your head on a swivel if you're taking a team bus or whatever in this rivalry. So
let me just say, if you're just hanging out in the hotel and someone says, "Here, hold this pistol," you might want to say, "No."
Well, I remember how that worked for the last guy that did that.
When someone knocks on your door at 4 a.m. and says, "I need you to hold this pistol," it might be a good idea to say no. But
all-time episode where we mistakenly had that guy on the thumbnail. That was tremendous.
I mean, should have just you can let the guy in the. How about this? You say, "I'm not going to hold your pistol, but you can come in this hotel room, and I will not look at where you put that pistol, but I will not take that pistol from you, sir."
Shout out to Cameron Kerr. Gave us some great content for the next few days after that one.
Fucking hilarious.
Next up, we got Dutch Brian Dutcher. I love these Aztecs, man. He's 198 and 68, and now things have gotten worse year by year over the past 3 years. 32 and 7 and 22, 26 and 11 and 23, and 21 and 10 and 24.
He's got enough equity. He can have a couple down years.
Oh, I know. He's
there
fine.
were some injury issues, so.
But they did, one of the things that was, they were not able to keep their roster together. What's his name? Went to Arizona, the big, was it Johnson? I think it was. And then Lamont Butler went to Kentucky, and the other kid went to Ohio State, and he balled out at Ohio State. What was his name?
Parrish.
Yeah.
Parrish.
That was tough. You lose those pieces. So what I see here, though, is maybe they are stepping it up because Miles Byrd, he flirted with going to the NBA draft, came back. He is back. And then how about Magoon Guath, who really had moments as a freshman where he said, wow, okay, well, he could have got paid else. I'm assuming they just paid up on bringing these guys back. Also, BJ Davis is back. Farouk Compton is back as well. And then Reese Waters, who was injured last year, by the way. That's a huge get. When I went to Mountain West Media Days last year, I was talking to him, and we didn't even know that he was going to be out for the year. Essentially,
that was so weird. Like,
yeah,
like the whole media day experience, and then like a injury designation pops up before like game one of the year, and then he just never played.
Yeah, I mean that was huge, by the way. I don't think
Yeah.
I would have projected them to win the
But
conference.
I will say this: a shout out to them for preserving the red shirt, because last year you could kind of see that the season wasn't going as they would necessarily have hoped, and then you have them for this year. This is like a 6th or 7th year college player,
Yeah.
and it's going to be on a loaded team.
And they got more loaded when they had Latrell Davis, who I loved his game at San Jose State. Averaged about 11 points a game at San Jose State last year with Tim Miles. They also got Sean Newman from Louisiana Tech. And man, I don't know why Louisiana Tech was a dud in their conference, but they had some ballers on their team. He was one of them. Also, they go to Charlotte and get Jeremiah Oden, who was at DePaul as well. Cannabis capper, averaged 8 points a game there. They also talked Cam Lawson back to he hit the portal, but then they got him to come back. Yeah, guys, I think this is the best roster we've evaluated so far. So, surprise, surprise, I am high on the Aztecs yet again.
Yep. Yeah, Dutch is awesome, man. He's won 75% of his games in Mountain West play. Obviously, got him to within a game of the Natty a couple years ago, and then followed it up with the Sweet 16. Last year, super banged up. They were really, really bad offensively last year, even for their standards. So if they can just take a little bit of a step offensively, they should jump right back into the 1 or 2 spot in this league. So I'm with you. They are at the top, I believe, in returning production in this league, and they're one of the oldest rosters. They will be back in the NCAA tournament, and they will have a chance to win the regular season and the tournament out there in Vegas, per usual. Go Aztecs.
Yep. San Diego State, they've had 6 straight top 25 defenses under Coach
awesome.
Brian Dutcher, according to Ken Palm there. And the Aztecs, they've been to the second weekend twice during Dutcher's tenure, and in both of those seasons, the offense was top 75. So basically, the bar is just be better than inept, and that's what kind of Mac was hitting on. Is like last year the offense was bad, and their standards aren't very high, but it's not a high bar to clear. And on the offensive end, I think SDSU is much improved, and this could be a Sweet 16 team. I think the Aztecs have some goodies on the offensive side of the ball. For one, they returned 4 guys that played 20 minutes a game last year, 8 guys that played double-digit minutes a game on average. And San Diego State, like Mac mentioned, 62% of their minutes are returning. That's the most in the Mountain West by far. Continuity, I said it with Boise State, always wins with these mid-major programs. We've seen it year after year with San Diego State in this program under Dutcher. Then you add in a healthy Reese Waters. This dude was a talented offensive piece at USC that missed almost basically all of last season. And BJ Davis, who shot 36% from 3. Miles Bird, one of the best perimeter defenders in the mid-majors. And Colby mentioned he seriously flirted with the NBA. And then you've got a front court of super raw offensive talented guys with Magoon Gwath, who's a 7-footer, but athletic as hell. Great rim protector. He won Defensive Player of the Year in this conference last year. And then Farokhmanesh was like a former big high school prospect. So there's some talent in that front court that with development in the program, which we see that with Dutcher year after year, those two are going to be dangerous. San Diego State has depth too. Last year's point guard Nick Boyd has moved on. So if their returners can't fill in that role, they're going to do or attempt to do by a committee. But if they can't get that efficient enough, Dutcher hit the transfer portal, handpicked a guy from Louisiana Tech to be his floor general, Sean Newman, who averaged 8 assists last year, 10 points per game. There's a little bit of extra offensive juice off the bench too with Latrell Davis coming in from in-conference San Jose State, shot 38% from 3. I think San Diego State also is another team that checks all the boxes for me, and I'm really high on these guys because you can bank on the defense being top 25, like I mentioned at the top. And as long as they're a top 75 offense or just at least functionable, I think they're a Sweet 16 team because they are a tough draw for anybody on short prep in the NCAA tournament. Not only do I think they compete, I think they're the front runner to win the Mountain West title. And yeah,
without question, I think just
Yeah.
the roster and what they return.
Yeah, hands down the favorite in this conference.
They open up against Long Beach State on November 4th against Chris Acker, their former assistant. So returning the favor, they're hooking them up a little bit. So they get Idaho State after that, then Troy, and then Bienick Players Era Festival. They start off in Vegas November 24th with the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah,
then they get the Oregon,
his
former
program.
Exactly, man. I go with Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher game there. Then they get the Oregon Ducks, and that's in Vegas. And then they get a third opponent out there at the Michelob Arena. Then they welcome Utah Valley on December 3rd, followed by Lamar. They get
The other thing about that San Diego State Michigan thing, sorry about that, Coley. Magoon Guath was down to Michigan or San Diego State. Those were his two that he was heavily rumored with this past offseason.
One trip to Ann Arbor, and he saw your LeBaron, and he said, "I'm staying in fucking San Diego."
No, I think he saw Yaxel, and he was like, "Oh shit."
Also, they got Arizona in Phoenix on December 20th, and shout out to them on December 22nd, getting the Whittier Poets to come in there. All right, free, and by the way, free San Diego State Santa hats.
Why can't them in Arizona play a home and home? God.
Yeah.
They're so close.
I know. Well, yeah. Yep. So anyway, that's that. Let's jump on over to my boy, Tim Miles in San Jose State. I believe he is a good basketball coach. The problem is he finds these guys, they play good, and they leave. Honestly, it's been like a 3-year thing here. You look back at last year's team. Well, Will McClendon bought out for them. Gone, transferred out. Latrell Davis played well for them. Gone, transferred out. Donovan Yap graduated, but I'm saying there's a couple others on the bench that played, decent minutes, or started for them that left as well. They return Jermaine Washington, who played 20 minutes a game for them a season ago. Also Cedric Nga. He's back. Christian Wise is back. I remember he tore his ACL last year, so he'll be back. Played about 10.5 minutes a game the year prior. Pasha Gadarzi, I think it is back as well. And then they went and brought in Colby Garland from Longwood. I know you saw him live, Mac. Played pretty well at Longwood there. Javon Hanna from Western Michigan comes in. Played well for the Broncos, even though they were trash. Iona transfer Yafit Mundy. Sounds like someone's got a case of the Mondays. Marcus Overstreet comes in from Mercer, who played well with the Bears there. And Adrian Myers from Mississippi State comes in. Got a couple freshmen from France and Turkey coming in as well. And also a Cal transfer in Jaden Goodall. No relation to Roger, hopefully.
It's so many moving pieces.
It's every year though, man. I feel like the guy's a good coach, but I just feel like they have no NIL. They can't keep any of their players there that end up being good, and they move along. But I still think they'll be chippy because I believe he's a good basketball coach.
He is a good basketball coach. 450 plus wins, and got Colorado State to the tournament once upon a time in this league. And had multiple top 4 finishes. He was good at Nebraska for the most part. Nebraska was terrible before he got there, and he got them to the NCAA tournament and a couple of.
He got a raw deal because everyone was injured, man. Everyone was injured last year. Yeah.
He's been snake bitten a couple times. Last year, I thought they were all right last year. I know 15 and 27 and 13 is probably not what Tim Miles would say that he wanted, but I thought they were chippy once again in this league. There's just so many moving parts. It's hard to predict this team to crack the top half of the league, despite liking Tim Miles as a coach. They'll have an identity. They'll play hard. They'll play for him, but probably going to be in that 8 to 10 range.
Yeah. I tend to agree. They're a bottom half team for me. They're one of the youngest, least experienced rosters in the Mountain West too. That's not a great recipe for success. And yeah, I mean, San Jose State so far under Tim Miles has been a little bit of a boomerang program. 1 win in year 1, second year goes 10-8. Then, like Colby mentions, loses a bunch of guys that he pretty much had a hand in developing. Then year 3, it was 2-16, and then a lot of those guys either come back or he had some hits in the portal, and he's 7-13 the next year. And then now it looks like it's a complete kind of rebuild again on the roster. The thing with Miles, though, is like he tends to have pretty like scrappy defenses, and a lot of the gets in the portal here, I think, fit kind of what you're looking for if you're hoping for a successful Miles team. Some defenders that are going to be all up in shit like flies. Javon Hanna can't shoot the ball worth a lick, but he played for Stevens over there, who's a disciple of Tom Izzo. And I mean, Western Michigan's defense is just all scrap, no finesse at all. And every one of these guys that come in are very solid defensive pieces for the most part. Garland's a nice distributing point guard who averaged 4.5 assists a game last year. They're going to struggle to put the ball in the basket, but yeah, they're going to win some low scoring games in conference that I don't think a lot of people are going to predict them to. That's about as best as I can say for now. Miles is a solid coach, but there's just a lack of talent on this roster that's going to allow them to compete in one of the best mid-major leagues in the country.
The best I can say is give me the points on opening night against Utah. All right.
Yeah.
Alex Jensen's first game as head coach of the Utes. Give me the points in San Jose State on November 3rd. They are in Salt Lake City. They then go to Santa Barbara. They then go to East Lansing. That
speaking of Izzo and all of that scrappy defense.
That first 3 away game that's to start your season, guys. That's their first 3 games at Utah, at UC Santa Barbara, at Michigan State. Yeesh. They also get they're in the Holiday Invitational in Palm Springs where they take on Tulsa, and then they get the winner of Northern Iowa and Loyola Chicago. They also get UC Irvine on November 30th. They get Steve Lavin in San Diego on December 5th. Long Beach State on December 9th. Love the regionality here. Then they get Stanford on the 13th, and that kind of caps off their non-con. I think I might have forgot. I might have left out Bethesda and Southern in there, but yeah, more of the same. As far as I agree that they'll probably be there, but as the season goes on, they'll be better and better, I think. Next up, we got the UNLV Running Rebels and Josh Pastner. Will he bring his mask, please?
He better not.
Please bring his mask.
I mean, that was when he coached best.
That was his magical year.
Actually, I kind of felt sorry for him because they who was it? Glover? Who was their big man? It wasn't Glover. Who was their big man that missed the game because he tested positive for COVID?
Oh no, that was a guard. It was one of Georgia Tech's better players.
That's what I'm saying. Why did I think it was their big man? Was it Moses Wright? I thought it was Moses Wright. No.
That was 5 years ago. Yeah.
I'm just saying they got kind of hosed though because they like that.
Loyola.
They lost to Loyola.
This is a really talented name pull if we're able to pull this up.
I thought it was Moses Wright.
He was on the team, but I think
Alvarado
it was
played.
Jose Alvarado.
I thought he played and Wright
Did
didn't
he play?
I
so
thought
then, yeah, it was Wright.
Yeah.
Wright was a big man. Yeah.
He
did not play against Loyola.
I didn't search that. That's in the brain. But I mean, it's a brand new team. They return one guy, Jacob Benarby, who averaged 1.6 points a game last year. I mean, look, he went out and brought a shit ton of players. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn comes in from Illinois. Miles Che Guevara from UC Irvine. Nas Cunningham from Alabama. Kamari Hamilton from High Point. Emmanuel Stephen from Arizona. Howie Fleming from the Mexicans of UT Rio Grande. Lottie Dembele from Iowa, and then AJ Green from Louisiana Tech. They also got a 4-star and Isaac Williamson they're excited about. Tyron Jones. I'm sorry, that's the 4-star. The 3-star is Isaac Williamson. Walter Brown comes in from New Zealand. Look, this I actually think roster wise, they actually probably have one of the more talented rosters, but I'll say middle of the pack.
I feel like we're breaking down football, UNLV on the basketball. Like what Dan Mullen did, I feel like Josh Pastner's doing. Just bringing a bunch of highly talented guys, seeing if it sticks. Nobody knows what their identity is going to be. And I think that was one of Pastner's downfalls with some of his teams is you just didn't know their identity on a year-to-year basis. So I'm with you. I'll go middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. They're talented, but I need to see it. And Pastner's is so up and down as a coach. Good guy, great guy, and he's good in Vegas. He's going to be entertaining out there.
Yeah, I had to go back and look at some of the past performances of prior teams that Pastner's had, and I think there's a cool feature on KenPom now. It's relatively new, where the preseason rankings don't mean jack shit, but where he projects them and where they finish, there's now a tab for that on these coaches, and he's underperformed preseason expectations in 8 of the 12 seasons that are trackable so far on that database. So I mean, like Max said, it was hard to really find a trend of some strengths that he's had in his coaching career so far, because he's been at Memphis, which is a very good program, and then Georgia Tech, where depending on how you feel, could have some pretty good recruiting ground, right? He tends to have all right defenses. My 2 favorite players on this team, for what it's worth, Miles Shea, who's an Asian man after my own heart, who wears number 77. I don't know if he's going to be rocking that with the Running Rebs this year, but he can do a little bit of everything. He's a great defender. And then Kamani Hamilton. I mean, he was one of the key pieces from that Allen Huss tenure at High Point, where they had some really good teams. I have the Running Rebs kind of in the middle of the pack, somewhat in the bottom, because there's just a lot more coaches in this league that I have trust in over Pastner right now. I just want to see how year 1 plays out and assess things from there after like a November and half of December.
Do you guys trust Steve Alford more than Josh Pastner?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got 700 wins.
That was without a doubt. Like, we didn't take any delay, Colby.
I think it's closer than what you guys say. Just because it's 700 wins, he's like 20 years older, right?
Yeah, but he's also competed and won in this league before. I haven't really.
I'm just saying as a coach, not this league. I'm not asking for the rankings. I'm saying just as a coach. I think I trust Pastner a little bit more.
No way.
Yeah,
I'm willing to have like a Vegas bet here. Like
I'm not saying this year UNLV are better than Nevada. I'm saying though, just I might trust him a little bit more as a head coach than I do.
I might trust him maybe a little bit more as a recruiter, because this on paper the roster looks great.
I think these teams are tougher to me than Alfred's.
I don't know.
I like Alfred's teams better.
Yeah, like to me, Alfred's team is probably more offensively efficient, but like I think Pastner's teams are a little grimier.
How many years has Pastner been out of the game though? I'm
2.
having trouble
2.
Physically picturing how tough his.
Pastner just had like 1 year at Georgia Tech in like 7 years.
He had a couple at Memphis, and then just
I was gonna say he had 31-5 here at Memphis, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
He just rubbed some people the wrong way in their athletic department or whatever, from what I remember, right? So.
Yeah, he wasn't one of their own, and they wanted somebody else, so they got who'd they bring in after him? Tubby,
was it Penny that came in and replaced him?
Tubby. It was Tubby. Then it was Penny.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the birth of Dick Pitino too at Minnesota, replacing Tubby. It all comes full circle in this conference.
I think it's going to be fascinating to see this matchup. But did you have anything else you wanted to say, Bienick, on UNLV?
No, they're just a little bit of an enigma right now for me. I have a tough time trying to place them. Right now, I've got them 6th. So
they have a shitty crowd. We should mention that.
He's the perfect hire for UNLV. It's going to be fun.
They always have a shitty crowd ever since
unintentionally. I landed them right in the middle as 6th UNLV. It seems like a great spot.
Well, they play, the non-con. They start off with UT Martin, Chattanooga, and Montana, all in Vegas. But then they go to Memphis, homecoming for Coach on November 16th. Revenge on the mind, Mac.
Was that on the schedule? Because didn't Memphis go out to UNLV?
I think so. I think you're right.
So I don't know if he planned that or not.
Then they get St. Joe's on the 20th. Then they are in that Players Era tournament, obviously right at home. They take on Maryland on the 24th, Alabama on the 25th, and an unknown team on the 27th. They are also traveling to Palo Alto on December 7th, and also get Tennessee State on the 13th, and that rounds out their non-con there.
It's an entertaining schedule.
It is one of the harder, in my opinion. That might be the hardest, I think. At
Memphis and at Stanford. The Stanford game's hilarious.
And then the other games, to me, Maryland and Alabama, and then even I kind of think St. Joe's is going to be better. Even Chattanooga was solid last year, so should be interesting there. Next up, we got Jerrod Calhoun and the Utah State Aggies. Calhoun's been fantastic wherever he's been. Obviously, a pal of Moneyline Max. I'm kind of loving this roster, by the way. Drake Allen's back. He's in his 30th year of college. He's back at the guard spot. Mason Fallslev is back, 15 points a game a season ago. Tucker Anderson back as well. Carson Templin and Jody Barnes all back. They brought in a bunch of freshmen that are deep on the bench that I feel like they're kind of excited about. They also brought in Colby King. All right, this guy's been a few spots coming in from Butler. Also Gary Clark.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Oh, no, not that Gary Clark. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They also brought in Zach Keller from Utah, MJ Collins from Vanderbilt, and Luke Kearney from Air Force. I got this as a top 4 team. They have one of the best home environments. I like that they return a decent amount of production. I like the Colby King get as well. Mac?
Oh, I love this team. But I mean, what Calhoun did last year, he had to replace the whole roster, and he went 26-8. We talk about it, man. This program is coach proof, but Calhoun finally didn't have to come into a program and rebuild them. He built Youngstown State from nothing. Youngstown State was fucking awful when
They're a football school. They were known as a football school.
Yeah,
they were terrible on the hardwood.
Oh, they were awful. And he went 29-11 in his last 2 years, won the regular season, second year, or he got second the next year, and they just couldn't win the big one in March in that conference tournament. But
their home court atmosphere was rowdy as well. And then
and I mean he also went to the Natty at the D2 level with Fairmont State before he took the Youngstown State job. Him and Missoula are super close. They were at each other's weddings, so he's got a little bit of that NBA style with how they space you out offensively. Defensively, they got to get a lot better than they were last year. They played that zone mix and match, and but yeah, I mean, I trust Calhoun. He'll find a way. They'll be them, and I have them in the top 2 once again this year. I think that he's the perfect fit out there, and it might be his last year in Logan.
I agree with you there because you want to say where he's headed.
It's in Ohio, in the Big 12.
They're known for
Cincinnati
cinnamon chili.
Yeah,
spaghetti.
Cincinnati Bearcats. If it don't work out with Wes Miller this year, call this guy. He'll get your program going.
Yeah, rebounding and winning the turnover battles have been the identity of Coach Jerrod Calhoun's teams recently at Youngstown State and Utah State. The Aggies ranked inside the Mountain West top 3 in both of those categories, offensively and defensively. So he brought everything that it was working at with the flightless birds, the Penguins, over to the Aggies. And, having a Mason Fallslev also works and is very good. He might be the preseason favorite to win Player of the Year in the conference this year because he's kind of the do-it-all type guy. Colby mentioned he averaged 15 points, 6 boards, 3.5 assists per game. He can shoot it well. He's a good defender. And then the Colby King edition, I think, flew a little bit under the radar. He came in from Butler, didn't get a whole lot of run there, but dude, he was a really good player at Tulane for Ron Hunter in a good AAC conference. And he posted 10, 4, and 2 with 1.5 steals per game with the Green Wave. This team has an identity, a lit home court environment. And in turn, we've learned over the years, like Mac said, it's hard to fail in Logan. Yeah. I think Utah State competes for a title this year again. I have the Aggies as a top 3 team.
Yep, and the non-con is kind of, I like it in a way. They open up with Westminster, not a D1 school. Then they get VCU on November 7th in Frisco, Texas, of all places. What are we doing there? Then they get Weber State, little rivalry game there.
Mac, is there a good Mormon population in Metro Dallas?
I have no idea. I'm going out to Utah again this January, so I'm going to get to a game this year.
Oh, there we go.
I can't wait.
Then they get UTEP, which is fun because they're leaving the Mountain West. UTEP's coming there to the Mountain West next year. And they're also coming to Logan on November 15th. They play Tulane in Charleston, South Carolina. I think I'm going to actually watch them, Mac. You should come to that in Charleston at the Shriners Classic there on November 21st. And then they get
the Colby King game.
Yes, and then they get the day off, and then the next day they'll get either Davidson or Boston College on the 23rd. And then one game I do enjoy is, they get Montana State after that, but then they travel to Tampa, Florida, to take on South Florida on December 4th. Intriguing game there. I know my guy Hoops Peterson super high on South Florida. Then they get the game at Charlotte, December 7th, Sunday, December 7th, Mac. Let's go to that too. Then Illinois State on December 13th at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. Come on, you're going all the way there. You can't.
The Jazz Arena, right?
That's what I'm saying. You can't go. You can't go to Logan. But I'm with you. I guess I am at the, in the top 2. Next up, we are going to Sundance Wicks and these Wyoming Cowboys. I'm very fascinated by this team this year, by the way. They lost a bunch of guys from the transfer portal and a couple guys graduated, but I'm kind of intrigued just year 2 of the Wicks experience. Bellick is back at the forward spot who played 24 minutes a game for them a season ago. Same with Abu Magasa, their other forward who averaged, played about 15.5 minutes a game with them. And that's it, really. That's it. Then they went to the portal, brought in Leland Walker from Florida Atlantic, played well, really, really good for FAU there at 9 points a game, 29 minutes.
What's quite the change of scenery.
That is
Cheyenne.
After going to Laradice, I can confirm. Jerrod Harris comes in from Memphis with Penny Hardaway. Caden Bennett from Quinnipiac, the Aqueduct, coming in as well. Demarion Dennis from Texas A&M Corpus Christi comes in, and then D2 transfer from Lake Superior State, Adam Harricow, and Keani Saxon also coming in from Missouri Western. Guys, so I had this one circled just because I like him as a coach. I'm hoping that year 2 they get the system more, but there's so many new faces that it's like, is this a year 1 all over again to a certain extent? I got them middle of the pack, maybe towards the back of the middle of the pack, but they need to get that thing packed again. That's one thing that they had lost. That used to be a very lit environment a few years ago. And last year and the year prior, I felt like it was kind of weak. Mac, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Sundance Wicks a lot. I think he's a good coach. His teams are tough. I mean, what he did at Green Bay that first year, or his only year there, was awesome. Turning around that program, going 18-14. growing pains last year. This guy is Wyoming through and through. So I'm pulling for him. And I think I like the returning production in the front court. So can the backcourt mesh here? We'll see. But I think Wicks will get the most out of his roster. I think he's a good coach for the most part. So yeah, I think they'll be in the middle. I think they'll be in the middle. They'll play for him. That I do know.
I agree with Mac, and also like former Wyoming assistant. He came back to the Cowboys here, and last year I thought the roster was just not good, not appealing. It was not your patented Wicks. Like Wicks with Green Bay had some really kind of unique and efficient offenses, and last year it just lacked a lot of pop. Not very appealing at all, if I didn't already say that. This year, I do like the Leland Walker addition to run the offense, and you surround him with a lot of pretty good shooting for the most part. And they're going to be aggressive on the glass. That's one thing that Wicks teams have done well, especially on the offensive glass. They've gotten after it, and I think this is a bottom half team, but I think some of these pieces, as again on the less appealing side of the conference, tend to fit kind of the offensive philosophy for Wicks here. You got Rojas coming in from JUCO, where he was an absolute stud, and Herricow from Lake Superior State. They were a really good team last year in the D2 level. Some guys coming in from winning programs, Walker at FAU, Jerrod Harris from Memphis, and Caden Bennett, who was on the Quinnipiac team that won the MAC last year. So I think that this team might be your surprise team if there's one that sneaks into the top 6, top 5 that nobody's expecting. I have a relative positive outlook for Wyoming this season. So
they need that crowd, man. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
Can't emphasize that enough.
That town just lives and breathes Pokes athletics.
I thought they were weak though, the crowd the past 2 years. Well, we talked about that,
Yeah.
It used to be really that used to be a really tough.
When did Linder have him in the tournament? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
I think.
Yeah, they had him in the playing game.
Because they lost EK to Gonzaga. EK was at Gonzaga for 2 years, so it was 3 years ago.
A damn portal.
It'll get you.
I don't know, especially at this level. They get you at this level.
Yeah, the schedule they go to Lubbock. That's the big one. They also go to Sioux Falls to take on South Dakota State. They also get Norfolk State coming all the way to Laradice. Could be a fun one there. All right, let's get to our lineup here. Who wants to lead this thing off?
Well, all of us probably have
no.
Air Force down here, right?
There we go.
Air Force is all numbered. What, 12 is that?
Yeah.
12?
Yeah.
And Fresno's 11.
Correct.
Yeah. So
did you guys hesitate at all in potentially putting Air Force at 11?
If I thought that if they were bringing back the rig guys, I would have.
So at 10, who's leading us off at 10?
All right. So 10, I have San Jose State there. For me, Tim Miles is going to have a scrappy defense, but I think when you compare the roster to a lot of the others in the league, it lacks a lot of offensive talent, and they'll win 4 or 5 games, I think, in the conference this year. I've got them 10.
I got San Jose 10 as well.
I do too.
I love Miles, man. Like their roster just.
I almost put them 9th. It was between them and Wyoming. I have Wyoming 9th. Bienick, who do you got at 9?
At 9, I have Colorado State. To me, the roster lacks a little bit of pop, and it's a first-time head coach. So, Ali Farokhmanesh is probably your front runner to be the replacement of Ben Jacobson over there at Northern Iowa, if Jacobson doesn't have like a long-time right-handed man there. But I think it's going to be a tough year one, and he's worked alongside Medved for quite a bit, but they weren't able to keep a lot of guys from that Medved tenure. So I think Colorado State falls back in the pack a little bit.
So then we jump to number 8, Mac. Who do you got at number 8?
UNLV. I had trouble placing this team. Pastner up and down. UNLV up and down as a program. We don't know what their crowd's going to be. They'll pick off some teams, but then they'll drop crazy games. UNLV at number 8.
I had the Nevada Wolfpack at number 8. Yeah. Stick it to them.
8th, I have Wyoming. I just think that the offense should be pretty good. I think the roster fits for Sundance Wicks. I think he's a good coach, and yeah, I think Wyoming is going to surprise a little bit this year. I didn't ultimately predict them to finish in the top 6, but I think they're my sleeper team.
I mean, you got us. You got a 1 spot higher than us.
I think they're my sleeper team because I think they could jump up, but I'm not predicting them yet to get there.
Does that count as a sleeper, Mac? When he's got
last year I took Fresno State.
Talking out of both sides of his mouth. He's like, I'm not going to pick it.
I got him as my sleeper. I got him 8 out of 12.
Last year I took Fresno State, but I had him 11th.
How'd that work?
They finished 11th, so I was able to, or they finished 10th.
They finished 10th?
Yeah, they had 2 wins. Air Force had 1.
Oh, that's not very good. Oh, yeah, there were only 11 teams last year.
At number 7, Mac, who do you got?
This is where I had Colorado State, first-year head coach. I just by default place him in the middle of the league. I want to see it from Ali as a head coach here, replacing a lot on that roster.
I got UNLV at number 7. I actually had a hard time placing them too because I think they have a more talented roster than the 7th best roster, but got to see it with Pastner there. But at number 7, give me the Rebs.
And I have the Rebs 1 spot higher than you. I'm confused. I have Nevada behind UNLV.
I do too. There, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like you were like, which coach are you higher on? We both said Alford. Yeah, I have Nevada here at 7th. Alfred's had 5 top 75 offenses in 6 years in Reno, but this year it's a little bit of a different roster building attempt. I think he's going to add a little bit more 3-point shooting that he just hasn't had in years past. And when they haven't been able to shoot the 3 ball, that's when the bottom's fallen out on his roster. So last year they were not good at it, and this year looks like he's added some guys that can shoot the deep ball. So, and then 6, I got UNLV. I think it's a really good roster, but I'm being patient, and it's a wait and see approach for me on the Rebs with Josh Pastner. He's been out of the game for 2+ years, I think. So
yeah.
Who you got at 6, Mac?
I went Grand Canyon at 6. They're replacing a lot, and they're going to have to play in some tough road environments that they're not used to playing in. In the WAC, the environments were not lit like they are in the Mountain West night in and night out. They weren't going to Logan or San Diego State or Boise or the Pit. I think that they may struggle a little bit, especially with the target on their back.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
At number 6 for me, I have Colorado State. They have a good home court environment too, to mention, by the way. I think that was kind of the reason why I put them there over UNLV.
Yeah.
So, number 6, 5, Bienick, what do you got?
5, I've got New Mexico. This is just a lot of belief in Olen that he's going to get the most out of a roster that on paper I don't think has like a true point guard. And also I would have preferred him to bring over more Triton players, but he did not. And yeah, there's just a lot of shooting, and they're going to win turnover battles. That's how they won at UCSD. So,
Mac,
Mr. 700 wins. Nevada, top 5 finish for Steve Alford. He gets back into the top 5 and maybe even knocks on the door, getting back to the dance. Let's go, Steve Alford. I'm in on him this year after the year.
I got Boise State at number 5. I think they'll still be fringe, potentially, being able to get to the big dance. But Boise at number 5.
I have
Bienick?
Boise 4th. 6 straight offense, 6 straight top 100 offense and defenses for Leon Rice, an extremely good coach. And when he has continuity, he's got some really good teams. They do lose 3 of their best players from last year, but they return 6 guys that played double-digit minutes, and that's a recipe for success in a good mid-major league. So I got the Broncos 4th.
Mac?
I went Eric Olen and the Lobos here at number 4. New era. I think they'll be solid top 4 because of that home court, and interested to see how this team plays. So let's go Lobos 4th.
At 4th, I had Grand Canyon. Look, I think that home court environment, I like what they did as well. I thought they really bolstered their roster. So, Grand Canyon at number 4. Bienick?
3, I have Utah State. I just think that this is your, if not the best, it's like one of the best solidified identities of a team, lit home court environment. It's hard to really kind of struggle at Utah State. We figured out over years past. So, they're going to be aggressive on the offensive glass. They're going to, be a pretty scrappy team, whether they're playing defense in a zone or man. However they want to attack that this year, because I know they were trying to add some pieces where they're not strapped to the zone this year. So I like Utah State 3rd.
Mac?
I went Boise 3, Leon Rice and company. I know they lost quite a bit, but that's roster proof. He's got an identity. They'll grind games out. Boise will be right there to get back to the dance again.
At number 3, I have New Mexico. I got them dancing. I think it's a coaching upgrade. Kind of hit on all this. So, Bienick, who do you got at 2?
At 2, I've got Grand Canyon. To me, this is a team and a roster that checks a lot of boxes for me. I think the players are very solid, and to counter Mac's point about Grand Canyon not having to play in a lot of lit or active home court environments, a lot of new pieces on this team. You've got a guy coming in from Gonzaga who very well has had a target on his back for his entire career. And Norfolk State was the number 1 team in their conference last year. Brown's been a contender in the Ivy League for the past 2 years in Owusu Anane's career. And then Jaden Henley's played in the Mountain West before. So I feel like that's a fair counter. I like Bryce Drew. I think he's been pretty damn good at Grand Canyon. They represented the WAC in 5 of his 6 years. I think they got a really good defense, good point guard, very good front line, great depth. So, and second most experienced roster in the Mountain West. So Grand Canyon 2nd. I like this team a lot this year.
Mac, I think we have the same top 2 teams, but who do you got at 2?
San Diego State. I think offensively, they may limit them to win the regular season. Even though I think they are way better, they're more experienced. Home court's great. Dutcher's awesome. I got San Diego State at number 2, which means I got Calhoun winning the league, man. He almost won it last year in year 1. I think they upgraded that roster. Yeah, give me these Aggies in that home.
There's no bias there at all.
Give me the Utah State Aggies, baby.
Mine are flipped. I got Utah State 2. I got San Diego State 1. I think San Diego State's got the best roster in the league. Utah State's got the best environment, perhaps, though, for the top 2 teams. So, or the better environment than San Diego State. So, that'll make it tricky down the stretch. Bienick, top 2.
Grand Canyon at 2. Number 1, I have San Diego State. I just think this is your best roster, your best coach, a team that, a lot of people say the Mountain West doesn't succeed in the postseason because the home environments are all great. Some of them have advantages of playing at altitude, and San Diego State doesn't have that, and they go on the road and knock off a lot of those teams, and you see them compete in the postseason sometimes a little bit better than the other teams in this league. They check a lot of boxes for me again. Said that about Grand Canyon, but really good defensive front court. Miles Bird's one of your best defensive guards in mid-major basketball. And I think they've got a little bit more offensive element to them. And they returned 62% of the minutes from last year, which is by far the most in the Mountain West. And I think continuity wins in mid-major basketball. So Aztecs won, and I think that's a top 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're getting a 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 seed. And I'm ready to run through a brick wall for the Aztecs and Dutcher this year.
Let's go.
Tournament winner.
It's in Vegas.
I'll go San Diego State. They haven't won it in 2 years, have they? Yeah, I'll go Aztecs. I had Utah State win the regular season. I'll have San Diego State win the conference tournament.
Give me Grand Canyon with that crowd they bring there.
Damn it!
Yeah.
That if them and like San Diego State played in a championship game, that would be a lit environment.
The WAC tournament has been in Vegas for I don't know how many years, right? But
they took it over every year.
Yeah. Grand Canyon fan base travels. Bryce Drew's familiar with the city and probably how to get his teams prepped. They've won 5 of the 6 conference tournaments in the WAC. So give me GCU. Sleeper. Who's going to be a team that outperforms expectations? Again, Colby's heading to media day, so we don't have that media day pull. Last year's standings, there was a clear 1, 2, 3 in New Mexico, Colorado State, and Utah State. I think it's safe to say that Colorado State's probably that disappointment, the bust team that we'll say, right?
Yeah, I was a little higher on them than you guys, though. So,
I mean, opening up a little bit more, there was a tie for 4th in Boise State or San Diego State. I don't know if you're predicting.
Wait, I had Colorado State 6, so that's probably you're right. That's probably the biggest.
Yeah.
Is Nevada my sleeper?
And then, the bottom half of the standings.
What did Nevada finish last year?
8 and 12. The bottom half of the standings, UNLV was 11 and 9.
What place?
8th?
7th.
I mean, so that's not a big jump for me.
UNLV was 6th at 11 and 9. Nevada 8 and 12, 7th. San Jose State had 7 wins and 8th. Wyoming had 5 and 9th. Fresno State had 2 in 10th, and Air Force had 1.
I think San Diego State would be the biggest jump for me.
For me, it's going to be Wyoming, and I'm going off the wins. Last year they had 5. This year, I think they're really close to 500 this year. I think they get close to I don't know how many league games they're playing with another added team this year, but I think they're hovering right around 500 this year. I like Sundance and the boys. Give me the Pokes.
San Diego State for me, Mac.
Nevada in the top 5, I think, is a sleeper.
Yeah.
Give me Alford. Let's go. I'm high on
5th. I don't think it's much, but I guess for based on last year, yeah.
Just take them off wins. Yeah. Last year they only had 8, so
it's a year of the Alford.
There we go.
So Colby's out and Max in.
Yeah, let's go.
I can't believe. I wonder what's going to happen. We'll see.
Folks, give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Noah Bienick's on Twitter at NoahB77_. Check out his hockey gambling podcast show. Hockey College Experience on Friday nights.
Gambling podcast.
Check out the Hockey Gambling Podcast as well. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Tomorrow night, College Football Experience will be live with our database top 25 and college football talk. Tuesday night previews.
Sorry, one last question. How many NCAA tournament teams for this league this year?
Ooh, I'm on 4.
I'm on 5.
I have 3.
Perfect. One of us got to be right.
Throw those darts at the board, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna hate on our Mountain West.
Yeah, I've got San Diego State, Grand Canyon, Utah State dancing.
There we go, folks. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The college the college basketball experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/the college experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button because we are just getting started. And yeah, we're back, baby. Let's go. We have another preview coming tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
We got 3 coming tomorrow.
For me, you guys. There you go. Appreciate the whole chat rocking along. Till next time, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
It's got me thinking about the good shit the minute that I seen your grill again. It made me good trip, good dog the mind back like dog will wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit the can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction factor. Vancouver, Michigan with my rap disaster, yeah. You know you want it how you want it. No need to trip, cause I got it, doggone it. It's all yours and the extras too. All the super music and the sex for who? Just get it straight, cause he caught me in a good mood. Let me demonstrate what this time of year could do.